I want to thank the press for being here, and I think it was a great, great night, and I think it was important for Dave to get this out of his system, and no matter what he's done, when you get into this cage for the first time, there are butterflies. So, one at a time, any questions, give them to Dave right now.
Dave, one question that I do have to ask, coming from a boxing background, Bernard Hopkins always told me the song that meant most to him when he walked down the aisle when he called John Pascal was the song My Way, Frank Sinatra. What made you choose that song? He walked it.
I've been like dreaming of using that song for a year since the notion of MMA came into my head. It just kind of spells it out. You know, it spells out my whole life and kind of how I did things. You know, people said I was too old and too beat up to do this, and I said, well, it's my dream, so I'm gonna fucking do it anyway. So playing that song My Way was kind of an F you to everybody who said that you shouldn't do it, you can't do it.
What was your feeling walking to the cage the first time?
It was terrifying. I mean, I'll be honest. First one that I told my team, I said, I don't know why I'm so nervous now, but my heart's beating, I can't feel my legs, I'm just so nervous.
I mean, Dave, we had an awesome conversation yesterday. I mean,
Now, hold. Go ahead. You done? Okay, go ahead.
we had an awesome conversation yesterday. I mean, you talked about your nerves and how you're trying to make a bigger stage for the MMA world. Win, lose, or draw, you told me yesterday, you're going to be a spokesperson for the MMA.
For sure.
Now that you got the win today, without a doubt, you told me earlier that it wasn't as satisfactory. What's your plans now?
Just, I mean, the fight is kind of insignificant. It kind of, I mean, I never even signed up to fight Vince. It wasn't the fight that I trained for, the fight that I wanted to sign up for. But it really wasn't. I knew a couple days ago. I knew a couple days ago when my head coach Josh Rafferty said, "We're all so proud of you, man. You want to do an 8-week camp? You never bitch, you never complain. You showed up for every practice. You never asked for a day off. You never asked for a round off. And you gave everything you had." And that meant more to me than getting my hand raised.
Well, you got your true sportsmanship. I mean, the honorable stuff that you said yesterday, I mean, made me a true fan of yours. When you told me that win, lose, or draw, you want to make a bigger stage for the little guy, and you talked about the UFC monopolizing it. I mean,
I didn't mention UFC.
No, you didn't mention. Yeah, you said the big show.
Because I don't want to. I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to be that guy who's bitter against UFC. But
not in a bitter manner.
Right. I just, to me. And it's a lot of the same thing with wrestling. It is very monopolized, and it sucks because it makes it so impossible for incredible athletes to just make a living. Simple things, make a living. These guys, the fighters, are the best athletes in the world. MMA fighters are the best athletes in the world, and a lot of them, because they don't have places to fight, they can't make a living. Now, training is a full-time job, and how bad does it suck if this is what you do for a profession and you can't get a goddamn job? It sucks, man. Everybody should be able to make a living at this. The guys that sacrifice and go out there and entertain us should be able to get paid and feed their families.
Next question.
Dave, you worked with Stephan Bonner, correct?
Yeah.
Now, Stephan had been talking about retirement. He kind of was ready to hang it up, and he got a surprise bout with the best fighter in the world, Anderson Silva.
He was in Tampa training with us when he got the call.
So, did you guys work? Did you energize each other? You being energized for your first bout, and him kind of coming back from what he was about to retire from?
Well, I think I don't know about if I energized him, but the day he got the call, he came to the practice the next day and beat the living hell out of me. And I think it was just because he put his game face on. And his game face was on, and he came and he was
Will you chair up here with you, Fred?
It was a different Stephan Bonner. It was kind of scary.
I
got to say one thing with Stephan Bonner. I think he's going to be a little disappointed because he called me, and the two things he said is keep your hands up and your chin down, and I did neither of those things. It's just because I was just nervous. The nerves got the best of me.
How do you feel about originally having an opponent that was supposed to have the same level of experience as you versus what you got tonight was a guy with a lot more fun?
I knew it was going to be a challenge, and I think everybody judged Vince by the way he looks. He doesn't look like a fighter, but a lot of heavyweight fighters don't look like they don't look like bodybuilders. They don't look like me, but they have hammers for hands, and if they hit you, you're going to get dropped. And the guys that are scary are the guys with experience. Like Vince has got over 40 fights. You think he's nervous walking in the ring? No, he's been there a million times. So that was the scary thing for me, and unfortunately, my nightmare happened. He was calm and I was nervous, and he rocked the hell out of me. And for a split second, I was wondering if I was going to be able to come back because I didn't have my wits about me until we were on the ground. And that was my saving grace. My wrestling coach said, have confidence in your double. And I shot the double and it saved me. Because if I'd stayed on my feet, I was probably going to sleep.
So Vince is here right now.
And that's a great thing about mixed martial arts.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Sorry. As one of your biggest fans, I've been following you for a long time. Could you please take a photo with me?
We will. If you're asking a question, please say where you're affiliated and with the MMA world or the press. Okay. So who's next? You'll get a picture. Okay.
Jeff Watts, U.S. Combat Sports. Dave, as somebody who had a couple child diseases, I had cancer when I was younger, and you giving back is pretty awesome. I'm just wondering, like, where all this comes from. Like, what makes you give back so much? Because I've been watching what you've been doing in the Northeast, and it's really emotional to see somebody do that. I mean, everybody knows you're really well off, but to give back that purse, that's one more treatment somebody gets, that's one more day in the hospital to get. What makes you do all that?
I'm glad you brought that up because the guy sitting right next to me is a dear friend of mine. He's really made it possible for me to do a lot of things that we're doing now. We're doing stuff together. His name's Carterley, and he's in remission from leukemia. And, he's the richest man in the world. So kind of using my name and his money to help people, which is a cool thing. But it's just something. Cancer in particular is just something that's something personal for me because my ex-wife suffered with cancer for years, and she's in remission. She's healthy, and not speaking to me anymore. So after we went our separate ways, I kind of kept up, the fight that I started, and it's very near and dear to both of our hearts, and something we're going to continue to do, especially stuff directed towards kids.
Yeah, it's great to team up like this, and it's okay to have, but it becomes your responsibility to give back at that point. That's exactly what we're doing, and yeah.
A lot of people don't do that, so that's great. Next. Wait.
Can I follow up one more thing? I know you're a co-owner, I believe, of Cesar Gracie Jiu-Jitsu Gym, if I read correct? Yeah. Do you advocate a lot for kids down there a lot? Do you have a children's program?
Yeah, we're actually moving our facility so we can actually accommodate children because when I originally opened the gym, it was going to be my personal gym, and it's in a bone shell of a warehouse, and we don't have any amenities for children, which is something that kind of sucks, and we wanted to make a change, so we're moving into a better facility because we really believe in teaching young kids martial arts because it just sets the tone for the rest of their life.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Right
Hey,
here.
how you doing? Jason with BJPenn.com. You went through a little adversity in the beginning of this fight. I just wanted to know, how that felt for you and, what it's like stepping into the cage and finally competing.
It's weird because at the same time, it woke me up, but at the same time, it woke me up and kind of almost put me to sleep. So it really took me a while to get my bearings about me, but after it hit me, he hit me and he really rocked me. I wasn't nervous anymore, but I was just out of it. It took me a while to get my bearings back, and he hit me, kept hitting me. And I've said before that if nothing else, professional wrestlers are durable. So I think I've proven that point.
Say cheese, Dave.
Yeah, he rocked me. And
You're 43. You've been training in mixed martial arts for quite some time. You've been all over the place, all kinds of camps. I just want to know, what are you looking to accomplish in the sport?
Nothing. I just do it because I love it.
Yeah,
That's it.
the most.
I don't have any ulterior motive. I'm not going to get rich out of the sport, obviously. Maybe it's even more obvious after tonight that I'm not going to be a world champion. But I do it because I love it, and I want to, promote it as much as I can and give other fighters opportunities. And it seems like when I attach my name to something, then a lot of people will come to see it, and some very good fighters will get paydays.
Let's do a quick
Take
photo
one
real
picture
quick.
over here. This
Vince,
young
before
lady, right here.
This way, Dave. You got it?
That's a big fist. Oh, man.
Can someone take this?
Let me take it.
There you go.
Try again.
One minute. So someone, you already asked some questions. You have a question? Right here.
Bye-bye.
Hey, over here. Hey, I'm Paul Cheetah with Boston Mixed Martial Arts Examiner. I was chatting with Vince when he came out, and he was talking about how good your single was when you took him down. Is that something you feel like is a strength of yours? Did you see an opening? Did you grab it?
I mean, honestly, we thought that my stand-up was going to be my strength here, and I went to my wrestling because, I was kind of desperate at that point. But my stand-up striking is, I moved pretty good for a heavyweight. I just, like I said tonight, I was just, I think, so nervous, and I just, it all went out the window. I didn't have my legs under me at all. I mean, I just felt like I couldn't move, and, it was just...
Did the nerves stay with you through the fight until
No,
the end, until they pulled you off?
After he rocked me for the first time, they were gone. but so was half of my brain. You know, I just felt like it took me a while to recover. You know, so.
I've read a lot about things that you've said, talking about being in your first fight, and you want to do it just to do it. You've always loved to fight, trained a long time. When you finally got hit, when you finally got rocked, was that what you were looking for at the end of the day? Is that one of the most things you're going to take away from this fight?
No, I think that, like I said, you know, the biggest thing I'm going to take away from this fight is that my members are proud of me. You know, that's what's most important to me, because they know I went through hell for 8 weeks, and I did it for no other reason than I love it, and I wanted to experience what they experienced.
Next question.
Congratulations, Dave.
Matt Jewell from Bleacher Report. My question is for Vince. Take us through the fight from your perspective. Like, how did you feel when you landed that first blow? What was going through your mind? And what was going through your mind, when, of course, when everything went, south?
When you take the fight on a few days' notice and you have as many as me, it's about having fun. I don't know if you noticed, I was waving at the kids. I have fun in there. It's too late to get nervous. It's too late to worry. I honestly thought, it's his first fight. With all my experience, I thought it would be enough to carry me through. Like I said, that was a beautiful shot. I'm an old wrestler, and I never saw it. I was like, what the hell? Heavyweights, there's very few that are great on the ground. Whoever gets on top usually wins. So, he's a big, strong guy. He gets on top, and you can't move. So, but I got to tell you, man, I've had the time of my life here. I fought some of the best, and it was unbelievable. And these guys said, like I said, I lost both grandparents to cancer, so wearing pink today. It's awesome, guys. Awesome what you guys are doing, man. Like he has everything. He could have about any woman, all the money. He has a life this guy's dream of. This guy's dream about having his publicity, his money, his fame, and he has the balls to get in there and fight. Not for money, not because he has to. That's respect. That's honor. And you got to respect the guy for that. Any guy that would take a chance, and I had nothing to lose. He had everything to lose. His name going out there, he had a ton to lose, and he took that chance. So how can you not respect that? How can you not like that in a guy? It's frustrating hearing all this crap from the people that never fought, trying to talk shit, and I'm like, hey, the guy's getting in there when he doesn't have to. How many other well-off, famous guys are doing that? None. They're like, fuck that, I'll watch it from my couch. He getting hit, and he went in there, and honestly, I thought I had him, and he came back. You gotta respect the guy. Guy's got heart. Question his pain, every question his heart. I think that's answered. Because
when we were in the clinch, I actually told Vince that it's really hard.
Yeah, just one question for Dave. You're a professional, mixed martial artist now. You're a famous guy. You've been in movies. You're a pro wrestler. What keeps you grounded, through all the fame? Because for a professional, entertainer, you have like no ego.
I think it's really because I was such a late bloomer, so I didn't get into